Yo, what up, YouTube? It's 12 Prodigy, and actually, welcome to my impressions of the Destiny Alpha and overall thoughts on Destiny and a rundown of the entire Alpha. So, what you got here is I'm starting at character creation. I've played each one of the three classes. Titan, which is the one I'm on currently most. As you can see, there are two different subclasses to each class as of the Alpha. Striker and Defender. Only Striker was available in the Alpha because you could only go up to level 8. And basically it seems to be a melee focused, almost a very close quarters focused class, which I'm assuming the Titan is. And I think it'll work very well. I played this class again mostly, and I felt very comfortable on it. The Hunter, on the other hand, seems to be almost a mid-range class that very much so focuses on gunplay. Your gunslinger ability in the beta allows you to get a flaming one-shot pistol that if you're good enough and skilled enough and quick enough with your thumbs, you're able to take out, you can clear out an entire room. I've seen it done. And so it really does come down to gun skill, especially with the Hunter. And then last but not least, there's going to be the Warlock, and that seems to be a longer ranged the closest thing to a mage-like character. I think we're gonna see in Destiny. Your special ability allows you to fire the equivalent of a spirit bomb, or spirit ball down onto the enemy, and it destroys them. Now, the cool thing is, the way they balance this out is since each class has its own one-hit kill, it's more about which class fits your playstyle and which one you are best able to go ahead and maximize its efficiency with how you play. So what you can see here is we then step into the actual customizing of your appearance. You have three different classes, or races, excuse me, human, awoken, and exo. And you can pick between each gender. Each gender, you can tell the distinction between a male and a female of the gender, and it is done very well. That brings me to the first one I really want to talk about with Destiny, about how alpha does not mean alpha anymore, and this is probably one of the best examples of this. This is a very polished alpha, regardless of company, regardless of instance. This isn't an alpha. This is at worst a beta, and even then, this thing was solid than a lot of games we see come out on release. Again, it's a lot fewer people, but at the same time, it is very solid. So, because I already had the other two classes and races, I have a human Titan as well as an awoken Hunter. I decided to go along with a exo Warlock just for this video and the creation. So as you can see, and this is about even with every single one of the classes. Sorry about the video. It's the way the system works. While it's an okay system, it can mess up, as you're seeing here. But you have about 7 options when it comes to faces. You have a good number of skin colors and mouth colors and eye colors. All your different colors, you can fairly well customize your character to appear how you want them to appear. Now, what do I think in terms of the customization as a whole on an MMO scale? It's not as great as some. It's better than others. It is what I would consider the bare minimum, a very solid basis for MMO, where you can really start to get into your character and feel and go into that customization, go to a customization level that you can enjoy. After you do all that, again, you pick the mouth color, which is very subtle. It's the lights emitting from behind the face, not the black piece, which actually took me a little bit to figure out. As you can see, I'm kind of flipping colors trying to figure out why it's not changing, and then I realized, oh, it's from behind. But then again, and there we go. You can go ahead and see that there is a good amount of customization, and I've spent on my Titan, which is the first character I created, I probably spent a good 15 minutes, maybe. That may be even on the long side of customizing my character, just so it felt right, looked right, and I really was enjoying it. You then can get head features. Last but not least, as I was saying, you can go ahead and get into the features of your head. So with it's either face paint. well, no, it's not face paint. I'm trying to think what it was for the Titan. I mean, it's just kind of like the distinctions. So whether that's scars or whether that's, I'm assuming earrings, any of the additions onto the face that make you a little bit more unique. That's what's in this category. And again, good number of options. Here in the beta, they have 15. And I enjoyed it. I don't know why I said on that. I really did not end up choosing this. I believe I ended up going with the almost like the connection. Put it in a white, and I spent a good amount of time. I kind of knew where I was going with this character because I knew how I kind of wanted it to look. And here we are. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at the menus. That was pretty much all that was left. You just added a stripe to your character and you were done. Now in the menus, it works very much like in MMO. As you can see here, each one has a subfield with all your different items in that category. So my helmets, my gauntlets, chest armor, boots. Then you have your primary weapons, which are rifles of many different types, and then your sub weapons. From there, you also have your ghost, which is your companion, your vehicles, which is the in-game vehicle. You have your ship, and you have your emblem. All these things can be bought, found in the world. It's very interesting. I'm actually in this video. I had a little bit of a problem because you use the L1 and R1 video buttons to jump, and I kept hitting the I believe I kept hitting like the circle button for whatever reason. I don't know why it worked in my head like that. But here you have your inventory, and then you have all of your settings. And I like this menu because it is fairly simple to adjust things on the fly. And the important thing I want to note about this, along with your friends list here, where you can clearly see how long somebody's been in the game, what the point score is, how much is left, then it works very well and is simple to use. This is your skill tree for the Titan, at least. As you can see in the beta, they give you a good amount of variety, but not a ridiculous amount. And as you use an item, so in the first category, you'll see the grenade. Then as I used my grenade, I was able to unlock the upgraded grenade, the version of the grenade, and then I would get the third version. Same thing with guns. The middle column you see there all has to do with sights, and these only appear on uncommon weapons, sights or ammo types. It all has to do with uncommon weapons. A common weapon will not have this, neither will common gear. But I think I'm going to go ahead and jump to a multiplayer match after I show you the 3 different things that are available. So you have the Crucible, which is the multiplayer lobby where you fight other Guardians. You have the Tower, which is where you can kind of go to a hub, main hub, to grab anything from armor, to find an armor smith, to your vault, kind of like your bank, to get new ships, any of that. You can all do that at the Tower. And then last but definitely not least, you can go ahead and head on to Earth, where you'll find a variety of missions, from explore missions to strikes, which are kind of like instances for anybody that's known with a MMO. For those not, it's a set encounter, a set area where you go through a mission, ending up fighting a boss to complete it, and I mean, get lots of good loot. But here we are in a multiplayer match. I was in actually a strike team, which can be 6, where you can go either in the multiplayer or actually onto the world itself to just go ahead, play, and have fun. The difference is, I believe, with strikes, you can only get
time to fight, Guardians.
3
Capture
people
all
each of
zones.
them. But in general explore and general missioning, I believe you can get 6. So the Sparrow is the vehicle I was talking about before that you can use. So here I'm just capturing the point. This is Control, the one game type available in the beta. I keep calling the beta alpha, and that is because that's how they want to do it. It's a domination-based game type. You see me very quickly transitioning because my team seems to have dropped. I thought I got the first guy, ended up missing him, but I ended up being able to actually take him down, and we're seeming to be off to a good start. So how do I feel about the multiplayer in terms of balance? Balance-wise, it's fairly balanced. Everybody has their one-hit kills. Vehicles are fairly strong. I will give them that. You basically if you're fighting a vehicle as a single soldier, you have to use guerrilla tactics and aim specifically for the driver. You can't aim for the vehicle at all. Aiming for the vehicle will just get you killed. Here I'm picking up special ammo for my secondary weapon and hopping on the turret. Again, you got to be aware of your surroundings in this game. People can come from any direction very quickly, and so you have to constantly use the tracker up to the top left that I believe shows you movement, especially if somebody's running. I feel if you're walking, I don't think you show up, but if you're running, you definitely do show up, and that's how you can tactically figure out and decide your next move. Now, when I was speaking on balance, guns, there are things that are heavily prevalent, but I think that's partially due to the fact that this is a beta. I keep saying beta. This is an alpha. And for instance, shotguns are heavy in use, myself included. I play with a shotgun all the time because shotguns are great. And the class that I use is specifically made to be close range. Snipers were used a lot by warlocks. And if you're good with a sniper, you are very effective. You can drop somebody from a far away and just keep it moving without ever having to worry about any type of consequences. The fact that you can spawn a vehicle automatically, now this vehicle doesn't shoot, but it's a vehicle to help you get around larger maps quicker. It feels good.
Zone B lost.
And I believe I grabbed this guy.
Enemy captured.
Oh no, I was a step short, and I don't know why I switched to my shotgun, man. But it happened.
Enemy captured Zone B.
Now, I want to highlight the differences because a lot of videos I've also watched about Destiny, people have commented about how the system works, and that it doesn't feel right, doesn't feel fair to as a close to a traditional multiplayer, I'll say, and that's because it is an MMO. MMOs and PvP always are a time versus time progression based event. With PvP in a game like Destiny, the amount of time, the amount of effort you put into the game in general will correlate to what type of weapons, the level, the amount of damage, the quality of your weapon. For instance, the weapon I'm currently using, I started using yesterday, and I've been playing. I probably have about 20 hours in over 3 days clocked into the beta.
Zone C neutralized.
It's very strong. It's above 100 damage. Because you get a damage upgrade as you use your weapon. I have a different type of scope than it came with, and this is all things that if you use a weapon more, you learn. And again, it's uncommon weapons. A common weapon, while you can outplay somebody and just be a better shot and beat them, it's gonna be far more difficult than if you have an uncommon weapon or if you have a stronger weapon that you've used for a while. And that's how all MMOs are. The more time you place into the game, your character, the stronger you will be in terms of armor, in terms of weapons. I jumped into this game first off, and the people I was playing with, we were kind of like, wow, these guys are just rocking us. And then we started inspecting them and noticed the difference in our armor values, the difference in our weapon values, and that immediately told you that was the reason. They put more time into the beta already than we had. And as you continue to play the single player story, the exploring part of the story, you very quickly learn, and I fail right there with that grenade. You really do quickly learn and figure out that you have to build your character and you have to care about your character, because that's the only way you're going to be great at this PvP. I'm just trying to jump between walls before I head over here and hit this dude. Just get dropped. Down. You grab this spot. So I always want to make that point clear. To anyone not understanding why it doesn't feel as balanced as another multiplayer, because the balance of PvP always in an MMO game at least, does correlate to time. Yes, it can correlate also to money, but it does correlate to time as well. So I would always say to go ahead and always go ahead and play, because the more I played, I started doing better and better and better. And this is one of the later gameplays. While I did all right, and I could get very close to a 1.0 KD, I would fall below it, generally speaking. Once I started playing the game more and more, I was able to actually get up to the point where I was posting above a 1.0 KD consistently. So overall, with the multiplayer, that's really when I want to make a difference and make that distinction up. The multiplayer works fairly well, and the times where I lost, I was either outplayed or I was outplayed in the sense somebody had invested more time or had gotten luckier in terms of loot. It really just broke down to that. That's just how MMOs are sometimes. You're not going to always get the best gear, but you make do with what you can, and you can still perform on a high level as long as you put in the time to get the resources that you need. So I'm going to talk about PvE very quickly before I just finish up my thoughts. PvE, the open world, the ability to explore does feel like an MMO, and it does feel fun by yourself and with friends. The reason I was really wary of this is because there's too many games nowadays where with friends it's incredibly fun, but by yourself there's little to no motivation to play. And because of that, I'm always wary of that feeling of how long can I deal with this? How long can I deal with the standard grind of a game without having to be terrified that I'm gonna just get bored of the game and just eventually put it down? And I can say without a shadow of a doubt that I played this game for 6 hours at it sometimes by myself and didn't even notice it till after I was done because of the difficulty that there is. So multiplayer, it again functions like an MMO. The deeper you go into a zone or an area, it is very difficult. The enemies scale. You will find that at the start of a zone, yeah, you can headshot an enemy here and there, and it'll take him out instantaneously. Run up, melee a guy, take it out instantaneously. But when you get to instances, or when you get to, well, strikes here they're called, or when you get to, say, later parts, deeper into zones, you'll find enemies that you can't just beat. You can't just top. You can't just easily run over. You have to think. You have to plan out. And a lot of times, there are some random world events that you need friends for. I actually am going to make a video of it where I actually had to ask for friends' help. I didn't get it, and I didn't fail in the event, but it was this giant creature that just I couldn't do anything about, no matter how hard I tried or wanted to, because it was just that strong. And while I didn't feel it was unfair, I understood that it was the type of thing where I needed someone else's help. It wasn't just something that I could just do and think that everything was going to be alright. Alright, so, and for example, the last thing, like you just saw on screen, I messed up and missed my ult. He had a special ability. He had his special, his pistol. He missed a few shots, but I couldn't dodge him long enough for the pistol to do something. And because of that, I lost. And that's my own fault. If I hadn't have missed my ult, or if I had been quicker moving and dodging, or made better decisions, I could have very well dodged that. It wasn't just completely pure luck. Oh, I see you. Bam, bam. Come on out. And he's dropped. Again, tactics work very well in this game and in these situations. Last thing I want to talk about is the sense of progression in the PvE. It is clearly there because I clearly noticed when my weapon started getting upgraded, because I started doing more damage, taking out bigger guys a lot quicker. That, more than anything, made me feel great, because it made me feel like my time was validated. I didn't just waste a bunch of time here going in and trying my best to just trying to pass time, and I didn't get anywhere. No, I clearly felt that I'd grown because of my ability to take on groups of enemies and how I can approach a situation. So I give Bungie kudos. That is a difficult thing to get right, and the fact that they got it right does impress me.
Zone C secure.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I guess I should address the grind. For those that don't know about MMOs, you do have to grind from time to time. And yes, there is grinding in this game. But as long as you're not grinding extremely low difficulty zones, and again, grinding high difficulty zones is based upon skill just as much as anything else. So, being able to be skillful enough to grind a higher level zone meant that I was fully prepared and didn't have a problem with the grind at all. It felt satisfying because I was having to work to get this XP, and therefore there's a variety of ways that you can avoid between multiplayer, the missions that you get from multiplayer, all of that. It's just, man, why you gotta shoot me while I'm dancing? I'm dancing. There's ways to deal with the grind, and so it is very balanced and doesn't get too tedious. But finishing up my impressions of the beta overall. One, alpha is an alpha. I want to make that very clear. What we were given isn't just your general alpha. Wasn't just your general, like, it wasn't your run-of-the-mill thing. This was a highly polished
Zone A.
item beta demo that we got access to, sneak peek, that
only 10 seconds left.
Not even joking.
Zone A.
That really sums up what Destiny stands for. That Bungie is looking to make a high quality experience here. And because of that, I mean, I give them full kudos. Destiny is a must buy day one for me because of this. There's a lot of talking about multiplayer, no multiplayer, and this is the strike team menu. Just 4 people now. You can have up to 6, and I'm just going back through my friends list and different things just to kind of show you what's going on, seeing who's online. But that's all I really wanted to talk about. The game is looking great. I can't wait. Until next time, this has been 12 Prodigy. We're actually going to flip over here to my in-slate, where you'll be able to click on any of the videos from previous content. We have a few Let's Play episodes from Wolf Among Us as well as Dead Island, and then we have our Microsoft press conference and Sony press conference coverage here on Nation Awkward of E3. If you don't see a link, then the video hasn't been released yet, but it is coming, so please bear with us. Thanks for watching. This has been 12 Prodigy. Follow us, and all of our social networking links are down below. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the content. A lot more Destiny is coming. I've recorded probably 7 to 10 hours worth of content of the game. And just overall, thanks, and I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, peace.